Hey guys, Jake the Sports here. Back with another video for you here today. I got the Purdue Notre Dame final score report on a Sunday, believe it or not. It's actually late Sunday evening. And yeah, Notre Dame won. That's really all I can say. I'm gonna be honest with you guys here. I guess I'm not a true Notre Dame fan because had to mow some lawns to get a little out of moolah, and I missed the end of the Notre Dame game. But it was when the game was pretty much out of reach for Purdue. Again, Notre Dame does not look impressive. And, I mean, for Notre Dame fans and a lot of the fellow Irish fans, 14 points against what I think is a solid Purdue team must be a blowout. Because I saw people saying this was an impressive win for Notre Dame. Are you okay? No, this was not an impressive win. And the AP poll showed that. We didn't move up, we didn't move down. So I don't think this was an impressive win, but it wasn't an embarrassment. We got the job done, and we got Wisconsin next week, so that's going to be interesting. We're actually not favored against Wisconsin. Wisconsin's like a 5.5-point favorite, which is kind of surprising to me, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited for that game, though. I'll be talking some whiskey trash for sure. I'll be talking trash during the big games this season, and whiskey's one of those teams. I get this all the time. People don't think Notre Dame's a great team. Notre Dame's not a big game on the schedule for a lot of these teams. Is that the case? From when we play Wisconsin till we play North Carolina. So Wisconsin, Cincy, Va-Tech, USC, North Carolina. Guess what? Before all those games for those teams, that's their team's bye week. Notre Dame is the team they're preparing for on that bye week for all 5 of those teams. All of them. So don't give me this Notre Dame is not a big opponent. It would be a massive win for every single one of those teams if Notre Dame lost to them. Notre Dame's a playoff team, people. They are. You have to accept that. None of the teams I have mentioned have gone to the playoff. None of them. Okay? Notre Dame is on a different level in terms of program, and it just is. And I hate these people saying the elites are Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, and Oklahoma. If that's the 4, you gotta throw Notre Dame in there. That's not the case, though. It's Alabama and Clemson. I forgot to throw Clemson in there earlier. It's Alabama and Clemson over the past 5 years. Then it's Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State might be in their own tier or with them. And then it's Oklahoma, Georgia, and Notre Dame, okay? Georgia, you have made the playoff less times than Notre Dame has. That is sad. Doesn't matter who won. You haven't put a good enough season together to make the playoff 2 times. You just haven't. And that's really the shame with this team, is that they don't look like a playoff team this year. We don't look like a near elite program like we have in the past years, you know? I've raged on this channel before, but it was over stuff not as bad as what I've seen the first 3 weeks. Again, the offense struggled against Purdue, a team that's only famous for a drum. I'm not even gonna get into that situation. Ridiculous. If you want to have this giant drum, don't expect to bring it to every away game. If it doesn't fit in your tunnel, it's not coming. That's just a fact. You need to learn it. Notre Dame, I don't even know. It's just frustrating watching this team. It really is. I'm a Bills fan. It was smooth sailing. Yeah, there were problems with the Bills. There's usually problems with every team. But they just won in convincing fashion. They just did. And I know they lost to the Steelers the week before. But even then, they didn't look like awful. Yeah, there were blunders, but they still made it, and they still made it competitive. Where I expect this Notre Dame team to be, it's just not where they're at. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, if we play like we did the past 3 weeks, we will lose to Wisconsin. Before I talk all the trash about Wisconsin, Wisconsin has a physical defense. And they don't make mistakes. They just don't. They don't beat themselves. And that's what we've been doing. And that's not usually how Notre Dame plays. We usually don't beat ourselves, but we are. We are. And if we do that against Wisconsin, we will lose. Wisconsin also has that bye week because it's such a big game for them. And it's going to be a toughie. Let's just say that. That one will be a toughie. I'll get into that game more closer to the game, but that's going to be a big one. And then we got Cincinnati coming up. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, this is the equivalent of Notre Dame's conference schedule. Obviously, they're not in a conference, but this is where the hard games start. You had your 3 warm-ups, Notre Dame. This is where you need to start playing some real football. It really is. What else about Purdue? Jack Cohn. I mean, yeah, he's made good throws, and he made some pretty terrible throws. I'm not gonna lie. The offensive line looked a little better, but again, like the first play from scrimmage was a sack on Jack Cohn, and Jack Cohn is not mobile enough. He's not mobile enough to move around in the pocket and escape the pocket when the offensive line is collapsing on him. And he's just going to get sacked. You either need to have... If you want to be successful... It's one thing if your offensive line is bad. It's another if your offensive line is bad and you don't have a mobile quarterback. You're done for. That is Notre Dame right now. And the offensive line is the hardest thing to fix during a season. It's just been proven. So, Cohn better be running some sprinting drills. Just going to say that. They said he's been working on his movement. It does not look like it. It doesn't. So, put Tyler Buckner out there. And this is one thing. I want to see Tyler Buckner throw the ball. Yeah, we know he can run. He's proven that. He just has. Let me see the kid throw the ball, please. Because if he can sling it, keep him out there every snap. Why wouldn't you? If he can do exactly what Jack Cohn can do with legs, perfect. I'd be happy. And that's what Ian Book was. Obviously, I think Ian Book could have actually stayed for one more year. He didn't. I think he's on the Saints. If he didn't get cut, I don't know where he's gone. He was an incredible quarterback. And it's hard starting with a new one. Jack Cohn's going to be a one-year guy, and he's gone. And I know the expectations for this team weren't as high, but, it's still Notre Dame football. You don't see it very often where a team struggles against Toledo, Florida State, who's 0-3, and Purdue. We didn't struggle against Purdue. We didn't impress, which I didn't expect to. And I'm not as mad this week because we did play a little better. The Marcus Freeman defense, that was good. That was good defense. That's what I want to see every week from Notre Dame. And that we only held them to 13. We gave up 31 and 29 the other 2 weeks. That's terrible. If we can keep the defense like that, they will give us enough points to score. And if the Marcus Freeman defense showed up like it has the past 2 weeks to Soldier Field, we're definitely losing to Wisconsin. If it shows up like it did this week, which I'm hoping and expecting it does, well, expect the winner of the Wisconsin-Notre Dame game to get under 14 points. Just expect that to happen. I think I'll get to my game prediction closer to the game, but you could see this ball game being 13-10, 13-9, close, physical game that's under 14 for the winner. Like that. Like 10-3 like Georgia Clemson. Like a low-scoring game. Because this Jack Cohn offense, again, the offensive line is not good. And the defensive line is going to tear it to shreds. It just is. So Cohn's going to have no time. And Cohn is great. Cohn is great. I'm being honest here. Cohn is great when he has time. When he doesn't have time, he's terrible. He just is. So he's going to have no time. We're going to have to somehow run the ball or throw, jet sweeps, screens. Notre Dame's going to have to figure something out with this Wisconsin defense because even their secondary is insane. It's going to be hard to scratch points across the board. But we can totally hang with this team if the Marcus Freeman defense shows up, which I expect and hope it will. If it doesn't, that's the first of many L's for this team. You can mark Whiskey as an L, maybe Virginia Tech, USC L. I don't care that they fired their head coach. UNC probably an L. This Wisconsin game is the most crucial of the season. People are going to say the Cincy game. No, it's this game. This game. If you win this game in convincing fashion, I don't see why you couldn't beat Cincy. I don't see why you couldn't beat Vatech. I don't see why you couldn't beat USC. And I don't see why you can't beat UNC. And after that, it's smooth sailing. You're not playing anyone good. If Notre Dame gets out of that 5-game stretch undefeated, I'd give ourselves a 95% chance to make the playoffs. But that's the whole thing. You got to get out of this 5-game stretch. And what I've seen in the past 3 weeks, I don't know, and I don't really think we can, unfortunately. I mean, I'll always be cheering on my Irish no matter what. If we go 12-0 or 0-12, I'll always be here. Win or lose. It's just how it is. But I try to be as honest as I can on this channel, and this game is going to be very telling. Very, very telling. It just is. So, we'll see. Other than that, I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. This has been a weird year in college football. 2021 looking like the new 2007. Whoever remembers the 2007 season, props, because I don't. I was 1 year old then, so I don't remember, but I've seen highlights of it, and it's everything you'd want in a college football season. Upsets and much more. It's starting to look that way. Clemson almost lost to Georgia Tech. What are you doing? Clemson, I told you guys they're going to lose another game, and they will. Trust me. They're losing another game if Uyunglele is their quarterback. They're just losing another game. It's just how it is. Who else? Ohio State, yeah, they won by 3 tutties, but 2 of them were in garbage time. This was a close game for pretty much the entire thing. Why are you playing with Tulsa? Everyone blames Notre Dame for having bad, just sluggish games. All these teams are. Oklahoma won by 7 over something called Nebraska. Nebraska is the worst blue blood right now, and it's not even close. You're even worse than Texas. That's sad. Sad. You're worse than Texas? And somehow Oklahoma almost lost to you. Oklahoma is they're gonna realize how hard it is to play in a legit conference when they get hit in the SEC. I'll just say that much. And don't tell me that sure, the ACC may not be in a legit conference. If you go through our schedule with the teams we're playing, we play a legit conference every year. And all these teams that say, oh, you don't play a conference championship game, every single team in college football plays a cupcake from the FCS almost every single year. Notre Dame has not done that once. Only Notre Dame and UCLA. That's it. So don't give me that excuse. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Notre Dame, meh, win over Purdue. But hey, that's better than a terrible win over Florida State, who looks worse by the second. And a terrible win over Toledo that looks worse every second. Toledo lost to Colorado State. I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, the reality of the situation is you can't be too mad about them, but you can't be super happy. And the people that are super mad about these losses, or about these wins, yeah, you could be mad about them, but I mean, if we go undefeated, we're making the playoff. That's just how it is. And though no one will remember those wins. They just won't. So, yeah. All right. That's pretty much it. But this one's been a long one. Also, thank you for over 350 views on the last video. I appreciate it. I'm just going to keep posting these. This is really a passion thing. Just for my love of college football. You could subscribe if you want. You can like if you want. Dislike. I don't care. But I'll be here posting whether it gets no views or 350 or a million. It really does not matter to me. I do these for fun. It's something I like to do in my free time. Now, if you will excuse me, I'm going to watch some NFL and bite my nails off until the Wisconsin game this weekend. See you guys then. Also, top 25 poll coming out in a few days, most likely. Maybe today. You'll see. Peace.